Hi, I'm Steve Copnall from Allett Mowers, and today I'm going to show you how to replace the nylon gear in the petrol, classic and Kensington models. So you may need to replace this if your lawnmower has had an impact on the cylinder drive area. So if you've hit a stone or cut something in it and it's actually broken this nylon gear. So the reason we have this in basically is like a fail-safe. So if you do have an impact in the cylinder area, this is likely to break, and that's basically to protect all the rest of the drive. So to replace this is a lot less of a cost than it is to replace the cylinder or the actual drive. So this is basically like a fail-safe. So I'm going to show you just how to replace this component. So first we need to remove the side guard. So we use the 5mm Allen key provided, and there are 4 fixings to remove. So the gear will be positioned behind the actual cylinder drive pulley. So you may even notice that you have a pink gear and they are now supplied as green. The reason for this is just the actual makeup of the material. So we have made improvements on this material over the past few years, and to identify that, the latest colour is now green. So if you have a pink gear, don't worry, it's the same component, it's just the material that has been improved. So we need to remove the belt guide. So using a 10mm spanner, we remove the centre fixing. Be sure just to keep the washer and the spring washer on the fixing. Then remove the belt guide. Work the cylinder belt off the top pulley and the bottom pulley, and then we can then just slide the pulley section off. So there is a fixing on there. If that one has broken, then that is also replaceable, but usually the fail-safe one is this section here. So we just need a flat bladed screwdriver. So you will see a retaining clip just on that shaft, just retaining the drive gear from coming off. So we just need to remove that. So using a flat bladed screwdriver, just position that in, and then you just want to work that off. The gear will then just slide off the shaft, and then you can replace it with the new gear. So now we've got the new gear on, we just need to reinstate the retaining clip. So we position that into the groove. And then locate that into position, and we can reinstate all the components then. So when positioning the belt, just be careful that it just sit inside the 2 guide arms, under the tensioner arm. With the belt guide, there is a section which just locates over the belt guide at the top. Line the bottom holes up. And then just tighten that fixing. So with your broken gear as well, if that has actually broken the teeth off, just be mindful that that only happens normally when it has the cylinder has had an impact, or the drive has had an impact. So you just want to be checking your cylinder and bottom blade for any damage. You may also find that if your drive gear is not engaging with the cylinder drive gear, so if they are not quite meshed correctly, there is adjustment here to close or open the gap between the 2 gears. If I just demonstrate, so we release the nylock there using a 13mm spanner. This section is then within a slot, so I can move and close the gap between the actual mesh. So if it has jumped out of mesh, there is the option there just to bring that back in. You don't want it too tight, you just want nice free gap there, so a bit of gap between the bottom sections of the gear. Once you're happy with that, just lock that fixing back up.